It's so baffling to me that modern women are still so confused as to how we found ourselves in this position with men, even though it's clearly very obvious. Hey, it's Christine Grace. Welcome back to my channel. Today's another reaction video. Like the video on your way in. Let's get straight into it. Today's video was sent in by Valentin over from my WhatsApp community. Hey, Valentin. Thanks for the suggestion. I've not seen this before, so let's all check it out together.
Just want to make a little PSA to the universe. Can they please put something in the water for 2026? Because
they already are. That's why we're here.
I don't know where to look anymore to find some decent men. So can someone please help us out?
Guys, when are you going to stop being so soft? Where are the real men of this world? Like, men used to go to war, and now we've got you guys crying because your skin fades too high.
Do you think this is going to make a man want to come over to you and be like, it's me, I'm the real man? Like, you wouldn't even like that anyway. You wouldn't find that attractive anyway. Videos like this are just so counterproductive. I don't understand. I don't understand the mating strategy. I think that's what bothers me the most. Is I don't understand the mating strategy, the logic behind the mating strategy.
Get over yourselves, please.
Oh, I'm really lonely and I'd like to find a man. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come on the internet and proclaim about how useless men are and how I don't really enjoy any of them. Where's the logic in that? Where is the logic in it? Like, you obviously want to find someone. That's why you're complaining that you can't. But instead of, you know, presenting yourself as a, you know, lovely lady and saying, you know what, like I've not been able to find someone, but I'm looking for someone, and, you know, this is what I would like to provide to your life. It's just like, you're all useless and you're all rubbish. Love me anyway. It's like, how do you think that works?
So hard for me to find a man. Like, I don't even ask for much. I don't need you to pay all my bills. I don't need you to anything. Don't cheat on me, make me laugh, and fucking take me to eat sometimes. Like, that's it. Is there any men like this ever or anywhere? Where are you hiding? I've been looking.
They don't care anymore. They don't see you, obviously not this lady personally, we don't know her, but women as worth it anymore. Like, it's the sad reality. She's not wrong. Like, you know, when these women are saying, like, where are the men? They're not wrong in their analysis of the situation. Men have en masse dropped out of dating. Both men and women aren't dating anymore, especially amongst the younger generations. Like, it's not like, you know, of course, there are a lot of these women who will have floods of men, you know, lining up for them and they're just turning them all away. But, you know, for the really pretty girls, maybe. But for the majority of us, like, that is not the case. Like, there's not floods of guys when you go out in the street, you know, asking you out. Genuinely, like, I've probably been asked out in public once or twice in the last year, which is still infinitely more than the amount of, like, dudes that have women come up to them. But, you know, I would imagine that there was a time before social media where perhaps that was more common. I also don't go out a lot, so it's a really bad example to give. But my point is that the data shows that both men and women are just simply not interested in the dating game anymore. So, you know, when they say, where have the men gone? That's not an incorrect diagnosis of the situation that we have. However, the prescription that they're giving is definitely wrong. You know, it's like, oh, the men don't want to date anymore, so let me insult them for that. It's like, that doesn't really feel like the right kind of drug to give. I think maybe some understanding, some accountability, and just some openness to, this is the world that we live in now, and, you know, hey, maybe women have contributed to us getting in this position. Like, even that kind of self-awareness, I feel like, goes a long way. I feel like most men would at least be more interested, maybe not fully interested, but more interested in getting to know you as a person, knowing that they're not under the attack from the get-go. I don't know, I'm not a dude. You guys can tell me what you think about that.
Okay, so I need to know, where do the men who are like 30 to maybe 40, I could probably go down to 28, 29, where are they hanging out on a weekend? Because a lot of you in my previous video said that you wanted to meet women face to face and you wanted to do it organically and you'd given up dating online. So where do we need to go to meet men like this? Where do I need to go? Because 9 times out of 10 I'm in my house and I'm not going to meet anyone that way. So help me out.
I don't know. Guys, if any of you are between the ages of 30 and 40 and you have, you know, if you're someone who has no desire to meet a woman whatsoever, then obviously I'm not asking you. But if you're someone who does want to eventually meet someone and does an online date, like where do you guys hang out? Where would be a good place to meet people? It's a shame because I don't think that many men are even thinking like that anymore. I think even if they are hanging out somewhere, they're hanging out there not to be with women. And I think that's really sad, but I think that's the truth of it.
Where are we going? On a weekend, on an evening, where do I need to be?
Ghosted by a sugar daddy has got to be one of the most humbling experiences on the planet Earth, because what do you mean you're the one ignoring me? You're not responding to me. What? In this dynamic, I thought you were just happy to even be in my presence, and now all of a sudden you can't even reply, and it's been 6 months. Like, I'm just gonna, for the sake of my own sanity, pretend that they simply passed away.
I mean, this is just an example of the entitlement that is so unattractive to not just men, but to other women as well. Like, I would not want to be friends with this girl. Why would you want to be? I mean, for a start, like, she has a sugar daddy. That's not obviously like a great influence to be around. But, you know, it's the entitlement. He is the one, like, you need him. You need him. He's the one with the money. He's the one who, you know, is funding your lifestyle. Like, you need him, but yet you still think you're the prize. You still think you're the one that's like, you know, top dog. You know, maybe he has a wife and kids as well. Like, you are not the position that you think you're in. But it's this modern woman delusion that, you know, the modern world has created, where women just think, they literally think that the sun shines out of our backsides.
Men make it so hard, like, genuinely. Like, I'm starting to think maybe I should just get a girlfriend and, you know, spoil her or whatever, because it's so easy. Like, genuinely, y'all be doing way too much.
It's so funny because they say stuff like this, but then you hear these women who have done that and become a lesbian, and then they suddenly have loads of compassion and empathy for men because they realize how difficult women are. So it's like, go ahead, try it. I would love for you to try it, because at least then you'll come back from the experience maybe more humble, and maybe then you'll be able to find someone. Like, I don't want this woman to never find love, but her current mindset and the trajectory that that's put her on makes it unlikely.
It's not hard to get flowers every time you see her. If anything, if you're broke as shit, you could literally go outside, pick some flowers off a fucking bush, and give it to her, and I promise you she'll be grateful. And if anything, it means even more because you handpicked that flower. It's not hard to go on dates. It's not hard to, you know, you could go on.
It's not hard to not emasculate men every second that you get the chance, which is all you've done in this video. So it's like, men know this. They know it's not hard to pick flowers. They know it's not hard to buy flowers if they've got the money, but vice versa, a relationship is a two-way street. It's not hard to not emasculate a man every second you see an opportunity. Or is it hard? You know, this is the thing. Like, these women are so programmed and so deep in it that to change their nature, which is to emasculate men, is very difficult.
Inexpensive dates all the time. Take her out, have a little picnic date. Be like, you could literally find different sceneries in wherever you are and go take your girl out. Y'all can have a little picnic in a car or whatever. Like, it don't matter. I feel like what matters most for women is seeing you show up and put in effort. Like, it's so simple. It's the simplest things that really matter. Like,
I am honest to God about to lose my shit. You asked me to go on a date. You liked my picture on Hinge. So what do you mean? You're not replying now. You've not replied for a whole day when I've said what time you'll be meeting.
Maybe he's busy. See, this is the thing. You know, this is the problem with the modern woman mindset, is the fact that she's not wrong for feeling frustrated. You know, we women, we like a plan because it makes us feel safe, because obviously a man with a plan is a man that is able to tell us what our next move is going to be. And we need that. We want that kind of leadership. But again, you know, a little nuance, a little context to the situation. This man isn't your man. You're going on a date. He doesn't have any obligation, duty, nor commitment to you. It sucks, yeah, but he does have every right to stop replying if he so chooses. Listen, I personally think it's a bit shitty. I think that, you know, if you do change your mind, let a girl know. But again, like, no one really owes you anything in that world and in the world. And some people are genuinely just like that. Like, they just would rather disappear. That is just the way that the world is. Now, when I say this is the problem with the modern woman, she is valid in feeling how she's feeling. Like, if I liked a guy, you know, and we were going to meet up and go on a date, and then he ghosted me a day before, first of all, I would try and ask myself, is there a good reason for this? You know, is he busy? Do I know that he works? How long am I willing to wait? You know, if it gets to the next day and, you know, there's not been a time or anything, then, you know, it's safe to presume like he's probably ghosted you. And that sucks. Like, if you're excited to see someone and then you don't, like, that sucks. So I don't want to say like she should just like accept it, because that's not nice. Like, we all know it's not nice to be ghosted. However, the problem is the fact that she's instantly gone on TikTok. She's not allowing herself to process the emotions on her own. She instantly has to go on TikTok, which is a public shaming ritual, you know. And how does she start it with? You liked my picture. Instant emasculation. I'm the prize. You want me. Hinge is a two-way street. You have to also like his profile back for you two to even be talking. So don't do that. Don't do the whole, like, you want me. Like, maybe he did, but you wanted him too. And you're sad and disappointed. Now, look, I understand we live in the modern age, and for whatever reason, people can't seem to process their emotions by themselves and feel the need to go on TikTok and get validation for it. So let's, you know, cut these people a bit of slack. I personally don't agree with it. I think it's ridiculous. I think it makes yourself look like a fool. I think it's unbelievably unattractive. I'd be so unattracted to even like a friend if I had a friend who did this stuff. Like, grow up. Like, we're not 14 anymore. You know, changing the little BBM photo to a black screen. Oh, don't piss me off. No one messaged me. Like, we're not teenagers anymore. You need to learn to process your emotions as an adult. But apparently no one can. So even still, like, process them properly. You know, be fair to yourself. It's not even fair to yourself to say to yourself, yeah, I don't care. I don't care. Because, you know, he wanted me. It wasn't like I wanted him. Not only is that untrue, you know, but you are also damaging yourself by saying that to yourself. By saying, oh, they wanted me, I didn't want them. You're ignoring the part of you that did want them, that is hurt, that is upset. And like, that's okay. Of course, if you want someone and you were interested in getting to know them, you had a date lined up and it doesn't come to plan, like, that's gonna suck. So it's like, you know, why not come on TikTok and be like, oh, you know, I had this idea for, again, I don't agree with the concept. I don't think you should do this, but if you are going to do it, at least be truthful with it. I had this date lined up. I liked the guy. I thought he liked me, and it hasn't come to fruition, and that sucks. But, you know, I'm going to deal with it. I'm going to move on, and hopefully I'll find someone else. Like, it's literally like, it's that easy to just be emotionally mature and real. Like, how old are you? Oh, I don't care. I didn't want him. What? Yes, you did. Otherwise, you wouldn't have been going on the date with him. Like,
I can't cope with this dating shit. I can't cope with this dating malarkey any longer. What is wrong?
she's very visibly distressed, and it's like, it's sad, man. Just allow yourself to process. Allow yourself to be upset. Why are you on TikTok? Log off.
You are not a man. I don't get it.
See, straight to the emasculation. It's like, if you didn't care, you wouldn't feel a need to do this. It's just not nice. My dad always told me 2 wrongs don't make a right, and I do firmly believe that. Like, it's just the tit for tat, revenge, all of that stuff. It's not nice, and you're only like hindering yourself by doing that. You're not allowing yourself to process things emotionally, but also you're making yourself very unattractive to the other sex. Because now any other man who is interested in you, if he comes across this video, he knows you have this very malicious, dark side to you that is eager for any opportunity to put a man down. And who wants to be around that? If I had a friend who at any given opportunity, and I've had, you know, growing up, I've had friendships like this, any given opportunity, you know, they will take a little moment to do a slight jab. Oh, your hair doesn't look great today. Or, oh, why did you wear that? Like, that's not nice. No one likes that. In the same way, you know, men don't like it either. So you're just hindering yourself.
I do not get it. You asked me out. Remember?
You agreed. You like him too. Stop this.
Pay the check if you're not gonna sleep with me. That doesn't make any sense.
What do you mean? Like, I mean, okay, like.
Okay, well, you don't have to be weird about it.
Oh no. Listen, I understand the logic of where he's coming from, especially because of the way that women have conducted themselves in modern dating. Like, I understand it, but I'm just gonna be honest with you guys. If someone said that to me, I would be absolutely appalled. I would be absolutely appalled. I'd be so happy, you know, from the get-go to pay my half of the check. And I've actually said this to people before, you know, other girls, when, you know, they say like, well, why are you okay with splitting the bill? I always actually say, because then I know the expectation isn't there. Because I don't want to sleep with you on the first date. Like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to sleep with a stranger. Simple as. Like, so I personally, for me, feel like that reduces the need to, you know, for them to feel like they're going to get something out of it. Like, you know, I'm here to see you, you're here to see me, we're here to get to know each other, so let's both invest something into it. Like, that is, I think, a good foundation for a relationship. If you can, you know, if one of you doesn't work and it's understood that the one of you doesn't have the money, then maybe you can come to an agreement. But that has to be decided and agreed between the two of you. But most people do work nowadays, so it's like, it just seems fair to either split the bill or like pay for what you got. So yeah, we don't know the situation here. We don't know if she's saying like, I want to split the bill, probably not, or if, you know, she's saying you should pay for me. Yeah, I just think you have to know, like, it does make logical sense for him to say that. I don't like it, but it does make logical sense.
It's just like, I'm not really,
You
like, I
wasted
don't
my
think.
time already, and the whole thing's kind of a waste.
Wow. I mean, nobody really disrespected me like that before. Like, I don't know what the
You
heck.
have to be dramatic.
That is not dramatic. Like, do you literally hear what the fuck you're saying?
I mean, yeah, you are kind of insinuating that she is a prostitute. But then again, she's not saying anything to lead him to not think that she is using him. So in the same way, it is, you know, men are weary that it's becoming a transaction because so many women are saying they use men for drinks, they use men for dates. So it's fair that they should be able to use it as a transaction too. Sucks. I don't like that. I don't want the world to be like that, but it is like that. It's like if she was saying something along the lines of, wow, like you only came here because you want to sleep with me and, you know, you have no interest in actually getting to know me, which is really sad because I do want to get to know you and I thought we had a nice date and I'd like to get to know you more. But if sex is all you're after, that's not the kind of relationship I'm looking for. She's not saying that. She's not having an adult conversation about it. And if that was true, you know, you'd think she'd say it, which kind of indicates that maybe she was using him because she's not saying anything to suggest otherwise. You know, she's not saying anything to suggest that she's disappointed by him saying this because she wanted more than just sex. She wanted an emotional connection. But equally, we don't know what he's expressed prior to the date either. I do think both of you have a responsibility leading up to a date to make it clear what the date is so you know what you're investing in, right? Because money's going to go into it, probably. So, you know what it is that you're getting into, or go for a coffee date that doesn't cost anything and suss it out then. Have the conversations then. What are you looking for? Now, listen, if the guy is looking for purely a sexual relationship, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not shaming him for that. But make it clear. And as for her, you know, if she's also not looking for an emotional connection nor a sexual connection, she just wants to go out on a date, make that clear. Maybe some dudes are all right with that. I personally wouldn't be, just paying for a stranger, but maybe some dudes are. You need to have these conversations. That's my thing. No one's talking properly to each other. So no one knows what the hell's going on, and that's how we found ourselves in this position in the first place.
Literally just told me that you're not going to pay the check if I don't sleep with you. So you were coming, that was your whole intention? I feel like I was, from the day we met till today, I never gave off, oh, I'm the hookup girl.
I just think you're like a drama girl.
Says the man who literally just said, I'm not going to pay the check if you're not going to sleep with me. Like, how gross are
Obviously,
you?
you're down. You're just embarrassed because you don't want to tell your friends.
No, you're an embarrassing man who's probably broke. Let me see it.
Straight away to emasculation. It's just not the way to handle it.
You know, honestly, like, I don't even want to be a part of this. I'm just going to, like, how much is it? We're literally having this whole fight over $130. Wow.
Just sitting here thinking about how I went to singles night at church and it was hundreds. I mean, at least 1,000. First, I thought it was 500, but the pastor said it was 1,000 singles in attendance. Like, are we all living the same life at this point? Because I've never been in a room with that many single people, or even thought that it was even, I thought I was like the only one left. I mean, beautiful women, all types, shapes and sizes, literally African-American women. Like a room full of singles. And I'm like, this has to be an experiment. Like, this has to be like assimilation. Is that the word I want to use? I think so. Like, I'm confused and I'm like low-key, like nervous, like for us. Wish it for myself.
You should be. You should be nervous for us. It is worrying. It really is worrying.
Look, y'all. Because where are the men? Where are the men?
Oh, she's saying it was a lot of women. Wow.
Then again, don't know. Never mind. Don't. We know where they at. Bye.
Where are they? Thing is that, you know, as sad and as concerning as it is, no one is looking for the correct prescription to remedy the situation. None of these women who are complaining about where are all the good men at are saying, do you know what? I think we messed up. I think we got it all wrong with the men. And for the record, I'm going to publicly proclaim to all the men out there and to all the women out there that this is what I think. I think we've mistreated men in society, and I understand why they've turned away. Like, if we could just, you know, like, do you remember the whole, like, Black Lives Matter thing? Everyone was putting up these black squares. Like, why don't we start, like, a men's lives matter? You know, just so you know that when you meet a woman, like, you could check her socials and see, like, does she have the accountability and the awareness and the bravery to turn against the sisterhood and understand, you know what? We've been bitches. We have acted very childish. We've not taken control of our emotions. We've allowed ourselves to be led by a society that has turned us against men, and we've villainized men to the point where men don't feel welcome anymore. Women can't even do that amongst other women, so, like, I know that I'm, like, pushing it here, but in an ideal world, that would at least be a start. Whether it would work and whether men would then have the humility to come back and say, you know, not even the humility, I guess the vulnerability to be able to come back and say, okay, we accept your apology. Like, let's take it from here. I don't know. I'm not a man. I'd have to ask you guys what you think of that. But at least in my mind, that would be a start. Because we can't turn back time. We can't undo what's been done. But we can do something now to remedy moving forward. Otherwise, all hope is lost. I know a lot of you feel like that. I feel like all hope is lost. And sometimes I feel like that. But I don't want to just give up. I know a lot of men have, but I don't want to just give up.
I just had a really humbling realization that the last 3 men I have been on a date with have all ghosted me. I think communication might be a little bit broken because the first guy, for example, we had been on 7 dates together, and I tried to arrange a plan with him for the week and he disappeared. The next guy was 1 date.
You know, there has to be a reason for that. Like, we keep hearing this same story from a lot of these women, but surely it's not that all men, or maybe it is. Maybe they're all going for the same men, and those men have loads of options, so they are the kind of men to just ghost you. That makes more sense, doesn't it? Because I was thinking, like, if they're just dating, like, you know, normal guys and they are, you know, looks matched and everything, then surely not all guys are like that and they wouldn't just ghost you. So there must be a reason for it. You know, maybe she's doing something that's putting these guys off. But now I think about it, it's probably more likely that she's going for a guy that she doesn't necessarily deserve on, like, a social level. And, you know, these dudes have other options. I don't know. But there are two options that I see as a probability.
And after the date, he messaged to say how much fun he had, and I said that too. And I thought we would book in another one, but apparently not, because he too disappeared. And then the third one, we went on one date, and I messaged him the next day to say thank you for buying the drinks, and he just didn't reply. The same guy that was sucking my face in the front of a pub. So I'm confused. It's probably something to do with me.
That's self-awareness. And that's good. I mean, I know it sounds harsh, but that's really good for her. If she's able to do that and say, like, there's probably something wrong with me that's causing me to have the same outcome in these situations, that's great, because that means there's something she can do to change it. If she's just saying, like, it's all them and it's not me at all, then it's like, well, you're always going to repeat the same patterns.
I know that's really toxic. There's probably something about me, but I shouldn't think like that.
No, you should. It will help you in the long term.
I'm just thinking dating is a little bit broken.
It is.
And I don't quite know how to fix that.
At the end of the day, taking that kind of accountability might feel bad in the moment because it does suck, the position that you found yourself in, but it will help you out in the long term. She needs to be more honest with herself. We need to hear more about what happened on these dates, not just the parts that she feels is significant, you know, the dude sucking her face or whatever. Like, what actually went down? What conversations happened here? Because I refuse to believe that it's just that simple, that you guys had 7 dates together and they all went great and then he just disappeared. Like, that doesn't make any sense unless she is going for like an absolute like Chad who's got 700 other options. Like, it's just not plausible. Why would a man turn away from something that he's enjoyed for 7 consecutive dates unless there was a reason for it? And it is your responsibility for yourself and for other men that you come into contact with in the future to figure out what that reason is, so you can amend it, so you can have a better life for yourself and the men can have a better experience when they come into contact with you. But that's just what I think. Why don't you let me know what you think in the comment section below? As always, if you like the video, give it a thumbs up on your way out. Be sure to subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell to keep up to date with all of my content. Valentin, thank you so much for this video. It definitely got me thinking. It was a good one. And if you have a video that you'd like to send over to me and you want it to have priority, then you can also join the WhatsApp community with Valentin and myself and a bunch of other really cool people. On that note, I'll see you very soon, guys, in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.